we are interviewing Professor Nayanjot Lahiri, Professor of History at Ashoka University. Her works include The Archaeology of Indian Trade Routes, Finding Forgotten Cities, and Ashoka in Ancient India. Thank you, ma'am, for agreeing to talk to Sahapedia about communication and trade networks in prehistoric Kashmir. Could you please start by giving us the background during the 3rd millennium BCE in the geographical landscape of north and northwestern regions in the Indian subcontinent and larger South Asia?
Actually, the time period that we are looking at would, culturally speaking, be best described as the proto-historic period. It is in the context of proto-historic cultures that you see for the first time Kashmir in relation to regions towards the south of it. In this regard, I think it's very well known to most students of history that in the 3rd millennium BCE, the Indus Plains, large parts of the Bahawalpur area, adjacent Rajasthan, Haryana, parts of Punjab and Gujarat saw the urban phenomena known as the Indus civilization. Now, the Indus civilization was made up of a kind of cultural milieu that used a large number of raw materials that were from different regions. And my own sense is that it is in this regard that the links with Kashmir became very closely articulated. I want to, however, mention that it's entirely possible that even before the efflorescence of the Indus civilization, Kashmir enjoyed close links with the Indus Plains. I say this on the basis of the fact that a pot with the design that you associate with the Kodiji culture of the Indus Plains has been found in a Neolithic Chalcolithic context in Kashmir. It has this horned deity motif, and in another pot, a very large necklace made up of beads of the kind that you find in the Indus Plains that has been found. So, although the 3rd millennium BC Indus civilization had these very clear links with Kashmir, it's possible that the evidence that we are looking at in terms of this pot and the carnelian beads goes back to a time period which is prior to the birth of the urban phenomena.
Ma'am, is there any site of Indus civilization which would suggest contact with Kashmir Valley or vice versa in terms of material remains?
So, as I said, we do find evidence of a Kot-Diji pot in Kashmir. Now, the thing, of course, is that the Kot-Diji culture was first discovered at Kot-Diji. So, whether it was Kot-Diji that had these links with Kashmir or it was some other sites, we don't know. But certainly, I would say that in terms of the raw materials that were there in Kashmir, it's possible that places like Harappa, which were located in zones which were singularly lacking in the raw materials they used, may well have been procuring some of these raw materials from the Kashmir region.
And what kind of archaeological evidences suggest such contact?
The evidence can be either of objects, as in the case of ceramics, or beads, or it can be in the form of what we imagine to be raw materials that would have come from the Kashmir region.
How was the trade conducted between the two regions? If you could tell us about the trade routes between the northwest region and the north of Indian subcontinent.
So I think the links between this part of the northwest, and I would say the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent and Kashmir are very important throughout ancient India. They're first very clearly articulated in the 3rd millennium BCE, and these are routes which one imagines would have been links through the Taxila region Taxila becomes, of course, a site much later, a big city site. But even in the 3rd millennium BC, you have in the Potwar Plateau places which have a 3rd millennium BC antiquity. So that is from where the roots would have gone, and they would have crossed into other parts of the northwest, then well into the Baramulla region and so on and so forth, and into the Kashmir Valley. So this is the links across the Jammu region. My senses became important later than this particular alignment.
Can we rely on just Portigian example, pot and Kalinian beads, which you have just talked about, to suggest trade, or simply contacts? What sort of other material evidences such contacts show? In terms of maybe raw material from one region to another region, and the manufactured goods, which you've already talked about.
Yeah, so these are the sorts of manufactured goods. There are parts of Kashmir which are rich in copper, for example, and the Harappan civilization was a Chalcolithic civilization. So it's possible that some of its copper was coming from there. Similarly, we do know that the Kashmir region had very clear links with parts which are beyond Central Asia, which were rich in raw materials like jade and jadeite. Those two are raw materials that are used by Indus civilization sites. So I would say that certain types of semi-precious stones, even if they were not from Kashmir, may well have come through the Kashmir region, and certainly certain metallic deposits in Kashmir may well have provided some of the copper that the Indus civilization would have required.
In the 3rd millennium BCE, Harappan civilization was in its urban phase, and it had maintained contacts with the Neolithic Kashmir. Could you please tell us the interactions or interconnections between the two regions?
So I think we've already talked about that. And to me, actually, what seems very interesting is the fact that, earlier when we thought about the Indus civilization, we thought about the Indus civilization being responsible for the birth of many types of settled societies in different parts of India. Increasingly, what we now find is that there were already settled societies there, and the Indus civilization, through its traders and commercial links, is actually interacting with all these various cultures. So what makes the 3rd millennium BC so exciting is that you have an urban phenomenon, and this urban phenomenon is a culture which requires raw materials from regions which are much beyond its own distribution area, and where actually different types of cultures flourish. So there's Neolithic Kashmir on the one hand, and you think of Rajasthan. Rajasthan also had Chalcolithic cultures, and there too there are very clear links. Similarly, you have rice being consumed in different parts of the Indus distribution area. And if you look at the antiquity of rice cultivation, that is really impressive in the case of Uttar Pradesh. So again, I imagine that there were links between the Indus civilization and the settled societies of Uttar Pradesh. So it's not a question of this very complex civilization leading to the creation of settled societies elsewhere. There were settled societies elsewhere which were brought into this larger web of networks. When we think about the later historical Kashmir, we think about very strong links with the northwest. Taxila, for example, and even the Northwest Frontier Province. If you think about much later, early medieval Kashmir, and you think about the Rajtarangani and you think about the region from where Queen Didda of Kashmir came, it's those links which become very, very impressive. But what is so striking about this early archaeological evidence is that it actually shows you that these historical links have a much more ancient antiquity, and that they were first formed in the time of India's Bronze Age civilization.